Hello, boys and girls. Today what we are going to do is continue on the next part of this project, our Bad Hair Day line design. So you're going to need your box of crayons from your art kit. Pause right here at the video, go find those crayons, and then you can press play when you are ready to go. Let's get started. Last time we were together, we made a drawing of a person having a really bad hair day, like a seriously bad hair day. And today what we're going to do with our crayons is we are not going to color it in the traditional way that you're used to coloring things in with crayons. You are in art class, so we are going to do this in a fun art way. So let's think about this. We're gonna use our imaginations. We're gonna use our creativity, and we are gonna use some elements of art and principles of design. What in the world does that mean? It means we are going to be thinking about important parts of art: line, color, balance. We're going to be thinking about contrast, and we want to think about the colors that we know that fall on the color wheel and in the color spectrum. What colors look good together? What colors look good across from each other? So let's take a look right here. Put this on this person's head. There you go. So we have here our color wheel. If I put colors that are next to each other on the color wheel, next to each other on my picture, they're gonna look really similar, and that whole area is gonna be dominated by a very similar color. It'll be a big chunk of a similar color. If I put colors across from each other on the color wheel, then they're going to pop out. They will stand out from one another. So if I find myself a red crayon and then I find a green crayon, these are complementary colors. They find themselves across from each other on the color wheel. And if I put these colors next to each other in a design, you're gonna see they're gonna look really, really good together. Let me show you. Here we go. I'm gonna start with what we started with in the drawing, which was the straight line right here. And I'm just simply going to draw up in between the lines. Hey, look at that. I'm up there at the top, might as well just come back down. Go on up. It's kind of hard to draw pushing a crayon up. It's a little easier to draw, easier said than done, pulling the crayon down. So I've got my red. I said green was a complement. So I'm gonna find an area close to the red to put my green. I'm gonna do it right here in this curly Q area. And look what I'm doing. I'm not coloring in the way that we're used to coloring in things. I am just outlining the lines I made before with a more expressionistic line, a line that does not confine itself to a rigid assignment attached right on top of the line. It's a loosey-goosey, we say. Okay, so that was fun. I got two complementary colors right next to each other. Oh, red, don't you look divine? Oh, yes, green, and you look great too. See, they complement each other. Now we are going to look at two more complementary colors. What should we use? Stop yelling at the computer. Okay, let's use orange and blue. Is that what you were saying? Okay, well, if you were, great suggestion. I'm gonna find myself a blue, find myself an orange. Look at that, here we go. And I'm gonna maybe put some action over here. When I look at this area right here, I'm thinking, oh, these are kind of like clouds in a blue sky. So I'm gonna put some blue sky between my cloud lines. Here we go. You know, I could have done a different shade of blue or a different blue in every one of those. But for the sake of showing you the instructions and making the video, I just wanted to get through this. But if you want to do something a little different and more creative with the way you are assigning your colors, by all means do so. But an artist has intention. Intention means there's a reason why you did it. It's not just, oh, I just randomly did this. You want to put some thought behind it, because sometimes if you do something randomly, you're lucky it turns out. Oftentimes, it does not. And then you end up with a big mess. You've invested a lot of time and energy into something only to find that you're not so satisfied with it later. So there's one more major set of complementary color we haven't used yet, which is the yellow and violet. Yes, I know there are little subsets with these smaller circles across from each other. We can still do this combination, absolutely, and we will. We have plenty of crayons to do so. So I'm just gonna do one more. Oh, look at this, perfect yellow lightning strikes. Look at that, how fun is that? Okay, I'm getting a little lost in my lightning right there. It is playing with my eyes, making an optical illusion, which is sort of fun. We call that op art. When it has an optical or something that plays with your eye illusion, that's called op art. Isn't that fun? That's a whole kind of art that people would like to do. You might like doing it too once you see more examples of op art. I bet we could do some op art this year. We'll have to play with some more line ideas. I bet before this you were like, who cares about line? What's the big deal? But it just goes to show you, if you are having fun and creative with your lines, you can really invent some crazy, well, hair day, right? Okay, so that's the idea. I'm gonna finish up my picture later. I'm gonna think about some different combinations that are gonna look good across from each other on the color wheel. So use the color wheel in this lesson. It's one of the images in your Otis lesson to give you some ideas and think about how you're going to use color to finish your project. When we get together next time, we are going to fill in the rest of the color, but not with crayon. We're gonna do it with paint. I'll see you then.